What is up, everyone, and good morning. Welcome back to the Morning Coffee Podcast. I'm your host, Cam, and this is returning star Harley. Harley is making a guest appearance today because we have missed the last couple of segments of our daily Morning Coffee Podcast. That's purely because of scheduling conflicts, unforeseen happenings between both of us. I was out at my parents' for 2 days. One morning I went there to... I was just going to work from their house, and then in the evening, work on my truck. And then, so I did that, and then next day I go to do the podcast, and Harley's gone. And I guess we just didn't, our schedules were conflicting for sure. So anyways, all that to say, we're back in the studio. We're going to have a great podcast segment today. Topics we have are Harley being toxic, like this. This is a perfect example. Talking about my truck. Let's start there. Let's talk about my truck. So as I mentioned, I was working from my parents' house the other day. I'm going to cut this whole thing out because my voice just cracked. You know what? No. Content is king, and I'm going to keep to it. So, I was working from home from my parents' house to work on my truck that evening. My dad's buddy heard that I needed a welding job, and he texted me and was like, hey, what size is the hole? And I told him and explained to him, and he was like, great. And he brought over some sheet metal or metal plates. Brought his welder. He works professionally on 18-wheeler tractor trailers, so he brought that over, taught me how to weld, 3 different styles of welding. He taught me how to stick weld, he taught me how to use like flux core welding, and he taught me how to MIG weld. So it was awesome. I had a blast. And then he fixed the truck, and then that was it. So then after that, I worked on the truck some more the next day and got it all together. Ranger Danger, back in action. Excuse me. So that was our first topic. So all that to say, I was gone, and segmenting into how Harley is toxic for me is I was around my other dog when I was working from my parents' house, and the drastic difference between my parents' dog, her name is Mocha, and Harley is ridiculous. My parents' dog is like barking and whining and trying to play all the time and like energy. Okay, I'll show you a clip. This was non-stop during the day. Roll the clip. This is my dog at my parents' house just throughout the day. I was sitting down for literally 10 seconds before this happened. Roll the clip. That is a toxic dog, but there is a good part to it. Is you can't just like rest, and you can't like nap during the day. Counterpoint to Harley, I don't hear from Harley. She just sleeps. And look, as a guest star, she's supposed to be like talking and conversing with me, just resting. That's all she does all day long. And sure, I'll go on a walk for her, but that's like 5 minutes at like noon, and by that point I should already have been up since 8 a.m. So my sleep schedule since Harley has been here has been so bad. It's just like we stay up till like 1:30, 2 a.m. just rolls around, and Harley's fine with that. She doesn't like whine to go to bed or anything. She just pops down on the couch wherever you are and does her thing. But in the mornings doesn't like bark or whine or want to go out or anything. She just naps and just sleeps like all day long. And so it's like naturally I'm someone, I succumb to peer pressure. So I've just been napping. And that's the difference I saw with my parents' dog. I was like, I couldn't stand to just like nap here because the dog would whine and bark and want to like play fetch and stuff. Whereas Harley is just like enabling me pretty much. Harley, you're an enabler. Anytime I don't want to do something, I can nap, and she'll be perfectly content with that. So the influence has not been great for Harley and me, but we're working on it. we will try and get back on a stricter sleep schedule so that we can do our morning podcast. I'd like to ideally release this at noon. This one's coming out like 4 p.m. So that was our second segment. We're working on it. We're working through our relationship issues. But hopefully moving forward from here, we'll be getting up 9 a.m. every day. Actually having content, or not content, but like, I don't know, just hanging out with the dog during the morning so we can talk about it more. I think that'll be good for our relationship. Third topic, Harley. No, it doesn't have to do with Harley. Gas prices, ridiculous. I rolled up and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know gas was like this hot commodity right now. I rolled up, I paid $4.40 a gallon, and I didn't check the price before I filled it up. So I looked and I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, if I knew that, I would only put like a quarter tank in and just like call it a day. At this point, might as well just like lubricate my like bike chain and just like start doing that instead. Like, why did I fix my truck when I have a bike in the basement? Like, might as well just do that. That's $0 a gallon. So that was frustrating. And then on top of that, the same week, my job was like, hey, by the way, everyone's coming back into the office end of the month. And the office is like 25 miles away. And I was like, why would I do that? We're perfectly fine. And they acknowledged that it's perfectly fine working from home. But they were like, but we're doing this anyway because we have the space. So that's ridiculous. So that's going to be, you do the math, 440 times 25. Well, I don't know how much. It gets more than $0 a gallon. I'll tell you that. And I would bike there if I had the strength. And then on top of that, they were like, oh, everyone has free parking except for government contractors, which is like the majority of what's going on. So pretty much they were like, oh yeah, except contractors park in this offsite parking garage, and it's a mandatory $200 a month. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, who's paying for that? This is a demotion at this point. You're taking my salary away from me so I can park somewhere where I don't want to be. Ridiculous. That all happened since our last episode to this episode. That's what's been going on. Pretty much just gas prices and me stressing out over it. But then today it was like resolved. It was just like, hey, we're actually probably only going to go in like once a month or something, or like when I have to give like a big presentation, like that's when I'll go into the office. So hopefully that'll even out. Plus, today, congratulations to me. This is my 1-year anniversary in the workforce. So that was fun too. What did I do to celebrate? I had a Boston cream pie donut. It was covered with chocolate on top. It was delicious. Harley came down and, was, I don't know, wanted a piece. I almost gave it to her, but like recall from last episode, she's been having some stomach issues with human foods, or just food in general, really. So wasn't allowed to partake in my celebratory Boston cream pie. That's all I got. Thanks for tuning into the Morning Coffee Podcast. We'll see you tomorrow.